Hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. This is Lounging Around, a series of videos where we talk about real life project management, real world project managers. So if you're a project manager or if you're looking to get into project management, these videos are going to be very, very helpful for you. Last time we talked about the 5 things that all project managers do on a daily basis. If you want to check that video out, check out the first link in the description. In fact, all our lounging around videos are arranged in a neat playlist. I'll share that playlist link as well in the description. So check that. Check the second link out. That will be the entire playlist. If you're a project manager or if you're looking to get into project management, these videos in the lounging around series are going to be very, very helpful for you. Today, we are talking about 4 essential skills that all project managers possess. If you're a project manager, you already possess these skills and you are always looking for ways to improve and hone these skills. If you're not a project manager, take a look at these skills and try and improve them or develop them if you want to get into project management because these are essentials. Let's start off. So let's start off with leadership skills. Now, I must mention here that all 4 skills that we are going to be talking about today are equally important. So it's not like leadership skills is the number one most important essential skill that a project manager must possess. All 4 are equally important. Now, as a project manager, you are going to lead a team, a project team, and you need to ensure that the project team is motivated enough to work towards the goals and objectives that your project has. So as a leader, you need to make sure that your project team is motivated at all times, because if you're working with people who are not motivated, it is unlikely that you're going to meet your project goals. Even if you do so, people won't want to work with you in the next project, right? So leadership skills come into the play here when you are looking to motivate your team members. There are several strategies to do so. There are several ways that you can deploy to motivate your team members. At the same time, leadership also involves managing these different team members that you have, right? So they might not be reporting to you. You might be working in a matrix environment where the project team members do not report to you. You are an individual contributor. But to ensure that your project succeeds, you need to be managing them, because more often than not, you will find out that project team members have conflicting personalities and they have conflicting opinions about what's important, about how a certain activity can be performed. And this is where you need to step in and make sure that you are ironing out any conflicts that are arising between the project team members, right? So this requires excellent leadership skills, and that is why it is an important skill that a project manager must have and should always look to improve on. No surprises for guessing here. Number 2 is communication skills. As a project manager, you spend more than 90% of your time every single day in communication. So obviously, as a project manager, you are expected to have excellent communication skills. You should be able to clearly communicate what your project's goals, objectives, deadlines, milestones are to your project team members. And not just that, when you're working on a project, you will realize that you have several people to communicate to, not just your project team, because you have external stakeholders as well. You have higher management as well. You may be directly speaking to the customer or the client, right? So you should be able to communicate to all of these people uh, clearly, and you should also know, this is also part of communication skills, you should also know which stakeholder requires what kind of details when it comes to your project. If you're giving a presentation to your CEO about the status of your project, your CEO might not be looking to get into the nitty gritty of what's happening on a daily basis on your project. But if you're giving your project status to, let's say, your project team, and the different stakeholders within the project team, they might be interested in getting to know the nitty-gritty of the project, right? So it totally depends, and this is also part of your communication skills. You should be able to know what you should speak to whom as far as your project is concerned, right? So that is also a part of communication skills. Communication skills is not just being able to speak a language in an articulate manner, right? It is also about knowing what you should speak and when, and it is also about knowing what kind of information should be presented to whom. A quick reminder, if you're looking to prepare for your PMP exam and looking for some book recommendations, you can head over to pmclounge.com/resources. That's where we have listed the most up-to-date books and resources that you should refer to pass your PMP exam. Hundreds of our community members have made use of this, so check this page out. Number three is organizational skills. Now, as a project manager, you will need to be able to keep track of all the different elements of your project, all the different documents of your project, and all the plans that you have created. You, as a project manager, are the single point of contact. And if you're working on a large project, it is possible that a lot of your time is spent on people coming to you with questions, and you might have the answers to those questions, but you might have documented them somewhere. So information related to the project should be transparent and should be available to you for quick reference as well. And this is where organizational skills come into the picture. And this is not just about information, right? Organizing project information is obviously one part of it, but keeping a track of all your project plans, all the different elements of your project, and making sure that the project is moving forward as per the plan, right? That is also part of organizational skills. You should be able to organize meetings, you should be able to host them, you should be able to follow up on action items, you should be able to uh, drive action items to closure. So all of this is something that comes under the umbrella of organizational skills, a definite skill that a project manager must have. Number four is problem solving skills. A good way to look at this is the intent of your project, right? Most likely you are working on a project because you are solving some kind of problem as a result of that project. So in a project environment, you are tackling a certain problem. Now, while your project is in flight, you might face other problems as well, right? So as a project manager, you should be able to quickly identify and solve problems that arise during the course of your project. This is where even your risk management skills come into the picture. Can you foresee certain problems and prepare for them in advance? This is where your ability to solve problems also come into the picture. If there is an ongoing problem, if there is an ongoing issue, how do you sort those issues out? As a project manager, it is very, very important that you are resourceful, you have contacts, you know people who can work on certain problems. And as you gain experience, you will also realize that some problems you might have solved in your past projects as well. So you become better at problem solving skills. You can use your experience to solve similar kind of problems in future projects or the current project that you're working on. So obviously, as you gain experience, you become better at problem solving. But this is definitely a skill that as a project manager, you should have, and you should always look on ways to improve on. Question for this video: how can you improve these skills? Now, I talked about in the previous slide that as you gain experience, you are going to become better at most of these skills. But is there something else that you can do to maybe speed up the process. Are there any books that you can read? Are there any certifications that you can get? PMP is definitely one of them. What else can you do to improve these skills so that you become a more successful project manager? Let me know in the comments. Definitely looking forward to your answers. So those were the four essential skills that a project manager must possess. Like, share, subscribe. I hope you got value out of this video. If you like our work, consider contributing at pmclounge.com/contribute, or you can make use of the thanks button on YouTube as well. Don't forget to check out our website, pmclounge.com, your number one free PMP and project management resource. Thank you and have a nice day.